Hi.
Hi, my name is Jaekyun Kim from the Hanyang University. We are working on the Nano LED assembly and characterization. So starting from the Nano LED fabrication, and then we accurately assemble on the substrate, and then we use the confocal microscopy to characterize the Nano LED optically, very low spatial resolution. So looking at the intensity map, so you can see some like Nano LED standing up. Also, if you place them on the laying down on the substrate, I mean, you'll see there's some like strong intensity. So we also did some measurement of the temperature-dependent PR spectrum, and then we're moving like time with the photoresistance. We also fabricate the Nano LED each pixel. So you can see we inject current into the Nano LED, like illuminating. So it's going to be a next generation pixel for the display.
Next, you say a next generation pixel?
Yeah, because current display that you can use like OLED, right? What's next? It's going to be micro LED and nano LED. So we are working on the next device, nano LED.
So micro LED and nano LED, many times I see blue as a problem in the display industry.
Why is that?
I don't know, some people say that blue is could be a challenge, or it's not.
It depends. It's problem for the OLED, but it's okay for the micro LED. So I mean, if you think about the efficiency of the each color of micro LED, blue is better than anything else. So one can use the blue nano LED for the combined with the quantum dots for the full color display. Yeah.
And you say you're working towards the nano LED?
Yes.
Like micro is not small enough?
There's some advantage of the why we use the nano LED, because we are using the very tiny LEDs, so which means that with a given area, I mean, we can put the many nano LEDs, so which means that we can say they're like a defect tolerant pixel design, and also nano LED consume the less area of the epi vapor. So since it's consuming less area, means that it's lower chip cost, right? So commercialization with micro LED, I mean, there are two bottlenecks of the technology hurdle of the commercial nano LED. So which is the chip cost and the transfer process. I think this process actually solved these two main problems
So
of micro LED.
what do you solve here about the chip and the transfer process?
Yes.
What are you solving?
Both of the problem we are solving right now. So vertical nano LED, really tiny LED, really cheap, and then transfer process is very simple. So transfer process is very fast, also cheap. Yeah.
But it's just a proposition, or you're testing, you're showing its work?
I mean, we had a booth at the last couple of days, and then we showed you some like nano display. But this post only like talking about the how we do that and the characterization. So we showed you some of the nano LED display.
Is it one of these booths? What do you mean booth?
Actually, I work for the university, but also a spin out of the university.
What's it called?
Advanced view. Yeah.
And there, during the show, you're showing nano LED.
Yes, display.
How does it look?
Really awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what's the percentage of the display that is the LED?
You can say like 99, more than 99%. But we are in the early stage right now. But we are hoping that we can achieve we don't need any repair in pixels. I mean, like 69 or 79% of the pixel yield.
When you do micro LED or nano LED, is it true that it only takes 10% of the surface to do the LED, and the rest is available for other things like sensor or something like that? Or does it make any sense?
That's possible. It depends on what application you are looking at. If you look at the really TV has a really large pixel, right? There's just many like unused area, and then you can put the sensors and then any gesture.
Camera maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
this will become harder with these?
Yes, yeah. When you go down to this device, especially for the AR device, there's really tiny display. There's not much of a room for them adding some other functionality. So in that case, I mean, that's why we need a Nano LED. Yeah.
And what are you going to help with AR, VR?
Okay.
What is this going to help with that?
With our technology?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people use the other like conventional approach, like we call that bonding technology. They grow the epi vapor and then they bond them together with a similar backplane, but we are using a completely different approach. We're not really growing the pixel. We actually use just flat vapor and process them onto each pixel, and then we release the nano LED from the substrate, and then we assemble them onto any substrate. So that's going to be a completely different approach. Yeah.
What is the hardware necessary to make this happen?
We need many really sophisticated vacuum tools, like RIE and then other type of tool. Yeah. But I mean, this process is pretty cheap, like solution-based process. Yeah.
Solution.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a bunch of liquid,
Yeah.
and that makes nano LED.
No, I mean, use the vacuum technology to make the nano LED, and the assembly process we use the fluidic assembly. Yeah.
Anybody else working on nano LED in the industry?
Some of them.
And how to do it differently?
I don't see many.
How you? There's many things that you do differently than whatever else is happening.
I think so. Yeah.
And what is the team you're working with here?
Yeah, that's this idea was actually originally developed by the Hanyang University, and then I started my own company for the commercialization of the nano display. So, yeah, kind of.
And you already answered how many years in the future it's mass production?
I can say like 3 years.
2 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So if the right company partner invest,
Yeah.
things go very fast.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
does that mean you believe nano LED is the future?
Yes. Yeah. I met a lot of customers from the big company, and then they want this for their products. Yeah.